On a Real Talk Christian podcast where we drink coffee and have real conversations on faith, culture, and society. This is Marc Hyde.
And Chris Fuller.
And today, Fuller.
What's up?
We got an interview for the folks today.
Say what?
So we are hanging out with the one and only Emily from Let Them Live. And so we met Emily over at Revive Fest, and we had a really a fantastic conversation with her and her team. And we were like, dude, we got to get you guys on the show. So 6 months later,
here we are.
So, Fuller, you ready for this one?
Let's go. Wow. That was like
a lot of hype,
that was pretty good hype.
Dude, I kept getting distracted because the lights behind us.
They're noise
activated, and your boy's ADHD is going bonkers.
Wait till I put it big screen on here after we bring Emily.
Well, it's
really gonna be like, oh man,
I'm looking at the camera and I can see the reflection of the light in the camera, and then I see the light up there, and then I see the light back here. So
squirrels all over the place.
Over caffeinated, very tired.
I can turn them off.
But they're cool.
I think
they're fun. But Lennox also has been waking up every day at like 3 or 4 a.m. and that's my responsibilities. So no, he doesn't stay awake.
Sure. It's a quick wake up, console him, and goes back to bed.
No, get the bottle, go back down to our bed, and then he falls back to sleep. Well, I didn't think the bottle and say, peace out, I'm going to sleep. But
homeboy's like, yeah, I'll hold it.
But 2 days ago, it was like 4 o'clock, and if I don't fall asleep very quickly, I have a really hard time getting back up at 6:30 to get the kids to school.
Yeah.
So it was already like 4:45, 4:50. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stay awake. So I went up to my office and got to work.
Hey, man, that's welcome to dad life, right?
That's it. So I am tired. I am exhausted. I am over caffeinated. I got ADHD going nuts.
But you're here, and we got an interview.
We got an interview that I'm excited about.
So, but before we could do any of that, first we got to talk about what we're drinking tonight. I told you what we were drinking. Remember?
Drink.
What your drink?
It's
gone?
You bought me a drink, but it's gone. Well, it's not quite gone. It's like I have like a quarter left.
Okay.
I drank a lot.
So we
started. This crap is good.
I bought it because we were getting back together and they had it back in stock and I roasted it. It's the Mexican high ground, sir. It's your fave.
Well,
it's your fave.
It's my favorite. And we're doing a different creamer tonight too.
We're doing the almond milk
caramel because your boy's got tummy issues.
So we got to take care of this guy.
Yep. Because I'm getting old.
That's what we're drinking tonight, my friend.
And it's good. And this is stuff that you roasted.
I roasted it last weekend.
I'm gonna geek out before we bring Emily in. Did you go like medium roast or medium dark or medium light? What'd you do?
This is always a
because it feels like a medium to medium dark.
It's a medium. It's more dark.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
It's a little bit more meaty.
Yep.
Right. I went about 30 seconds longer into first crack than what I normally do before second crack.
Because I can taste because it's the fruity notes aren't quite as much there.
It's more the nutty.
It's more the nutty earth.
It's nutty and caramel undertones with a little bit of velvety chocolate at the back end.
Yep. It has that slight it's not burnt. It has that crispy. It's not even crispy. I don't know what you call it.
It's like a
roasted fat with a P. It's fat with a P.
It's fat.
But it's a fat cup, dude.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So this is what I like to drink in the morning. It's like
this is your morning coffee?
This is the morning coffee.
Dude, this is a solid 1 p.m. for me coffee.
It's like a good it is. It's a good afternoon coffee,
1
but it's a good morning coffee. I also roasted like an El Salvador. That's like a dessert coffee though. That's like a you've had a good salty meal and you need a little sweet pick me up, and that's what you drink there.
See, I like really light roast for my first hit in the morning.
Oh, so
I have a light roast Honduran I'm pumping down right now.
Homeboy's up at 3:30. I need a punch in the face, but not Folgers. We don't drink that nastiness.
Nope.
Okay,
and if you do, allowed. Jesus loves you too.
That's
it's
all right. Forgiveness for sins.
One day he'll wipe away all our tears.
Don't worry, it's all right.
It'll be okay. But we got a review to read.
I'm
trying to get us back on track, Janelle. I'm trying.
So it's funny because now that we've got this every other week release going on, we're getting further and further behind in the reviews. So they don't even go back. It just says 1 year ago now.
So we might need to start doing
it doesn't even. We might have to just start doing 2 or 3 every episode in order to catch up because we're just. It doesn't even tell us what month it is. It's just a year ago.
Just a year ago. Like y'all, it's been a while, guys.
But it's from a Kai. Is that how you say that? C-U-Y. Instead of guy, it's Kai. Kai Rich.
Q
Rich.
Q Rich.
QE Rich.
Let's go with Kiwi.
Kiwi.
Kiwi Rich.
Kiwi Rich. Here
Kiwi
we
Rich.
go. Great listen for long drives. I'm 23 years old, Christian. I became a youth pastor during COVID for my church.
Yeah.
I'm also bivocational. Your homeboy over here was too for a while.
Mm-hmm.
My other job has me traveling all over the state doing repairs for Walmart. Oh, okay. On many occasions, it is in a non-Christian group. I recently found your podcast and started from episode 1. I'm sorry. Quality was terrible.
Rewinder.
It has been very uplifting, and I listen to it on my long drives. It has given me encouragement. It makes me rethink on some topics that I thought I was correct on and make me chew on it more. Thank y'all for what y'all are doing.
That's awesome. So I'm guessing homeboys from the South.
Probably
is what I'm guessing. So
Is
Kiwi Rich, reach out to us, bro, at realtalkchristianpodcast@gmail.com. If that's your real name and I'm butchering it, I apologize.
So when we say Kiwi, it makes me think of somebody going Suey, which is like,
Suey?
yeah. So Kiwi
From Arkansas. Is that Razorback? Arkansas Razorbacks?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think it's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, thanks. And if you haven't already reached out to us, reach out to us for that mini swag
Get
bag.
the mini swag bag.
Review.
Yeah, but I'm excited tonight, Fuller, because we have Emily. Hopefully I didn't botch it, Emily Berning here on the show with Let Them Live. I already said we met her and her team down at Revive Fest, had a lot of conversations. We even got to promote their ministry from the stage for a little bit when we were emceeing. And you were talking with her, and you're like, "Dude, we got to get you on."
Yeah, they actually approached us when we were doing like the questionnaire,
the Q&A tent.
Yeah, you were doing the little pass around the mic.
Yep,
you were working that mic pretty good.
I was working it real good
around. Yeah, it was like a Murray.
I still haven't got my paycheck from Matt Grimm yet. But
dang it, Grimm!
He did my little Disney.
Yes, he did. We had our own trailer. We had our own trailer.
We had an RTC trailer. I'm just giving you crap, man. I'm just giving you crap. But either way, we don't want to take up any more time. So let's get Emily up onto the show, my dude.
Get her up here.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Emily?
Wait. Up?
We almost missed our claps.
Almost. You were searching for it, and I was like, I got one here.
This is what I should have done. Where is it?
Oh,
no.
Not because of you, because I missed it. Let's
call a redo.
Let's try that again.
Yeah, all right. Good job. All right.
Marc
welcome, Emily.
Accidentally slams the guest on RTC.
It's fine. I could have just listened to you guys all night, honestly. So it's fine.
We love each other.
We listen to each other a lot. But we want to hear what you have to say.
But I do got to say this, Emily. So like once in a while, I'll go back and listen to like an episode. Like I listened to the Sola Scriptura one yesterday when I was tearing out the carpet to put some new floors in.
Right.
And there's sometimes I listen and I'm like, dang, Marc, you got to shut up once in a while because you talk a lot.
We both do, though.
Yeah.
Just usually whoever prepares the episode does the majority of the talking. It's like, shoot, shut up and let the other guy talk.
So needless to say, we're hoping that we're going to shut up so you can talk tonight.
That's right.
Hey, that's fine. Yeah, like I said, I can talk a lot. So I think we're all gonna like try to outcompete each other tonight. But
maybe a vibe.
Well, we're gonna try to give you first place.
Absolutely. So
we're gonna shoot for it.
So we'll start with this way then, Em. So tell us about you. Tell us about yourself, the ministry, all the fun things.
Who are you? And where do you come from?
Oh my gosh, what a big question. No,
that's a big question, bro.
In the 1900s, I was born in the hospital. Oh, sorry.
I know I was born. It's weird to say. My sister-in-law who's 18, who's Gen Z. She's like, you were born in the 1900s, and I was like, that sounds so weird. Okay,
yeah, but we have mortgages, so go away.
Yeah, right, right. No, but
he don't have mortgages, guys.
Slamming 2 whole generations on that one, Marc.
My bad.
Oh my gosh, I love it. But yeah, as you guys said, let them live. Oh my gosh, like God is crazy. You know, you plan your life. And then he's like, yeah, I got something else for you, and totally throws it off track. And it is scary. And you're like, what is going on? And you're freaking out. But then it all turns out great. And that's literally let them live. I mean, my whole life, you know, I had it planned out. I was going to be a veterinarian. And I grew up pro-life, grew up in the Catholic Church, you know, but it wasn't really talked about. And then I got to college. And one day I was like, I should probably start reading about abortion because, well, I don't know. It just kind of.
I mean, that was a hot topic when we were all in college. Like that was it.
Yeah, honestly, it was like you're faced with it, you know, because you're faced with this like crazy college culture, which you know that's a whole other discussion. But you know, I started and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to do something. So I went and I joined the Students for Life group and totally ended up blowing it up because they were just at the local church and they didn't want to do anything on campus. And I was like, let's take it to campus. And they're all freaked out and everyone left and it was just me. So I was like out on campus doing activism. And So that's really where my pro-life spirit started. And, my husband saw that in me and he was like, hey, we should start a pro-life nonprofit, or you should, it was something
I'll
that he was
support you
just
from the back row.
exactly.
Were you guys married at the time?
No, we were dating, which is just a whole other crazy story. But I met him just a few months after I graduated college, and so he encouraged me just soon after we started dating, like, you should start a pro-life nonprofit. I'm like, dude, I don't even know, like, how do you even do that?
Right.
So we did. We got all the paperwork. We called it Let Them Live, and we had no idea what we were doing. So I just tell people, I'm always like, you know what, if God's pushing you in a direction, like, everything will be figured out. So we did. We just went for it. And it was kind of confusing. Didn't really know what we were supposed to do. We tried, the political stuff like lobbying, activism, and nothing really felt right. So it was about a year later, after Nathan and I actually got married, that we kind of had that light bulb moment. We were 2 months married. We had no money. We
Sounds
had
about
just
right. Sounds about
yeah,
right. Sounds normal.
literally. I think everyone can relate to that. We just deposited
Yep.
some checks into our bank account from our wedding. So we finally had a little bit of money, and Nathan's up on Facebook at like 3 a.m. And he sees this post in a pro-life group that says, hey, like, my cousin has an abortion scheduled. What do I do? So he reached out to her and asked her, like, why? And that was honestly ended up being the most important question, because a lot of pro-life people, sometimes we don't ask the why behind it. And she was evicted, living in her car. It was freezing. She lost her job. Just like every way that you could be kicked down, you're pregnant and you're just freaking out.
Pregnant with nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, literally. And then she had an abortion scheduled, and Nathan being Nathan, you guys would love my husband. He's so crazy. I love it. He's like wearing Hawaiian shirts. He's got longer hair than me. Like, he's just like, he's a bro. It's awesome.
He's like a bro.
California? Is he from California?
No, no. Indiana.
Hey.
Which are you originally a Hoosier?
Well, so I'm originally from Colorado, but for about, when we got married, we lived in Indiana, and Let Them Live started in Indiana. It literally started with us. We didn't have a place to live. We didn't have enough money. So Nathan found an abandoned fifth wheel travel trailer in the back of his grandparents' trailer storage property, drove me over there and was like,
hey,
welcome
babe, that's
home.
gonna be our house. Like,
quite literally, he was so proud of it too. He was like, look what I did. It was nice inside, honestly. So that's where we started Let Them Live, was inside this like fifth wheel travel trailer.
yeah,
So,
I love it.
our home on wheels. But yeah, Nathan being Nathan, he was like, well, what if we give you money so that you can get back into your apartment? Like, what would that help? And she's like, I don't know if this is real. And anyways, he gave her all the money in our bank account. So
He's like, here, I've got all this.
Somebody was given the gift of faith. Let me just tell you that right now.
crazy enough, he wasn't even really a believer at the time too. Like, so it's so crazy. I would say his heart is bigger than his brain. And he nudges me awake. He's like, hey, do you want to save a life from abortion? And I was like, well, yeah, duh. But like, how, how it doesn't feel so tangible sometimes being pro-life. And he's like, well, we got to give this mom our money. And I was like, okay, like, it's like 3
on the internet.
Yeah. And we did. And she canceled her abortion, got an ultrasound, and sent us ultrasound, and chose life. And it was literally like a light bulb. It was like, oh my gosh, this is what we're supposed to do. And the craziest thing was that, like, a couple months prior to this, I was just, honestly, I was getting really impatient with God. I was like, God, like, you said that I should start this nonprofit. I have no clue what I'm doing or what we're supposed to do with it or anything. Like, I can't, I don't know what to do. Like, and then I was like, I kind of surrendered. I was like, look, fine. Like, we'll do this nonprofit, but like, there's 2 things I don't want to do. I don't want to do pregnancy counseling, and I don't want to have to fundraise all the time. And those are the 2 things I would do.
Those are 2 things you do?
Yep. So ate some humble pie for sure. So yeah, that's where Let Them Live got started. Like,
and so if you don't mind me asking, what was so timestamp that for me? Like, what year did that all begin?
That was 2018. So that
2018.
it was December 1st. I remember it because it was my dad's birthday, or it would have been like December 2nd, 2018. So coming up on 6 years of that first mom that we encountered. And then looking into it and finding that, oh my gosh, like so many women, a majority of women that are getting abortions, they're doing it not because they're like waking up in the morning, drinking their coffee thinking, I'm going to get an abortion today. It's because they feel like they have no other option, And so it was just wild to me.
Do you feel like most of the stigma around abortion stems from maybe more fanatical pro choice lobbyist of, oh well, it's not a baby, it's not a human, whereas what you're experiencing in more of your real life contact with mothers, that they do view it as a baby, they just feel like they're out of options?
Yeah, honestly, it's a combination. That's such a good question because, there's some moms that we work with that absolutely recognize it. Like they may have kids already. Like they know that essentially this pregnancy can end either by giving birth or an abortion. And they're just so overwhelmed by the fear of it. There's also some women that we come in contact with where they have the fear of it, but then it's kind of justified because you've got the abortion industry just saying like, well, it's not a human yet, it's not developed, like it's just
Clump
it's
of
just
cells.
literally a clump of cells, literally a clump of cells. When in reality, like, people wouldn't think of a 12-week fetus and think, you know, fingers and toes, but that's what's there. And so it's just a lot of misinformation. And there's a lot of, I mean, gosh, it's so sad how many times I hear from women who've had abortions. Like, if I had known that there were resources for me, if I had known, or if Let Them Live had existed or whatever, like I would have made a different choice. But so many times women, it's just our culture is so like default pro-choice, like default Planned Parenthood. Like, you think pregnancy, you think Planned Parenthood, like their branding. I mean, I got to give them credit. Geniuses, awful, but it's like the culture is just shifted so much in that way where they're like, I'm going to go into Planned Parenthood thinking they're going to get all this great information when they're really not. And I mean, yeah. Yeah.
And so for you now, let's fast forward a little bit here. So
Yeah.
back in 2018, that's when Nathan was like, I'm going to give you all our monies and we ain't going to have monies, but you going to have money. And
Yeah.
so since then,
We got a fifth wheel.
but we got
Oh,
a
yeah,
fifth where we're
we
sleeping.
did.
Absolutely.
We did. We would never went without a roof over our head or food in our stomachs. I mean, dollar
There you
menu
go.
Taco Bell. Hey, we ate Taco Bell today though. Like, I don't care how much money you have or if you live in a fifth wheel travel trailer or a house. Like,
Taco
Taco
Bell
Bell
always
slaps.
if you're a millionaire, you still crave the Taco Bell.
I wish I could still eat Taco Bell, but I can't.
You could.
I could, but, no,
It's
but
just
You could.
gonna have consequences.
so I
dire
mean, Beth and I, with no kids, I looked at her. We were driving back from school. And I'm like, hey, you want to go get some Arby's? And so we got Arby's for lunch today. Just 'cause we could.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
absolutely. But
Arby's. Oh, yes.
Arby's,
Okay.
yeah, Arby's.
Do they still got the 4 for $10 going on?
I don't know,
roast
dude.
beefs?
I just no, they
Yeah,
didn't.
man.
I had to just get a roast beef meal, but she gets their ultimate BLT, which is also banging. But
nice.
needless to say, so
Sorry.
fast forward a little bit.
Squirrel
So
moment.
2018 is when it all started, and that's when you gave money to this mom. I don't want to go all the way to the end, but what was the next little couple stages of the journey? Was it more the fact of, okay, we had the LLC, we proved that we could do this. Now is it more of just, now we just need to get donors and then we went and found moms, or did more moms find you? Did you work with like pregnancy care centers? Like, you don't just start with helping one mom, because I could help one mom, but you guys blew it up in an entire operation in a good way. So how did it get to that from A to B?
Yeah. I mean, I think God, obviously you guys know we're going to talk about God on this podcast, and like he already knew. And it's so funny because it feels like it was like a joke I wasn't part of. Like, I had my whole life planned out, and then he's like, oh, here, you're just going to help this mom. But by the way, like, I'm going to totally derail your life, but in the best way possible. So in our minds, like, I think we were like, okay, this is it. But then it was like, I don't even think we were thinking about the next step. We were just kind of like, like, all right, God, I don't know, just hands, just our hands were open, ready for it. So, but really what just kind of kept solidifying it. And I think God just like kind of gives you God winks, you just know that you're kind of on the right
We
path.
use that term on the podcast. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Little God winks for real. And so we randomly, I didn't know what Schindler's List was about. But it was in the theaters, and this was like shortly after we helped this mom. It was like back for the 25th anniversary or something. And we found like an AMC gift card and like, an old jacket or something. So we went to the movies. Yeah. I know when you love that. You go, date night for Schindler's List.
Dude,
So we went,
life used to be so simple.
I know. So we went, we saw Schindler's List, and, like TLDR, TLDW, it's like you have this man who's a Nazi, part of the Nazi party, and really doesn't care what's going on with the Jews. And then his heart changes. He starts to see wealthy man, Oscar Schindler. He starts to see them as human beings. And he's like, I can't not do something. And so he starts to kind of be covert about it. He actually convinces the Nazis to like give him Jews that are about to go into the concentration camp so that they can come work at his factory. So he like pays the Nazis for the Jews. And he ends up saving like 1,200 Jews. And at the end of the movie, it's like so impactful. He has to flee because he's still like considered part of the Nazi party, and the war is over. And, he's leaving, and he's standing there, and all of the people he saved are around him. And all he can think about is like, I could have done more. Like this ring that I'm wearing, that's another life. This car, that's another 2 lives. Like, and he's just so worked up. And the man says, Oscar, like, look around you, look at everyone you saved. And he said, there will be generations because of what you've done. And then they gave him this ring that they made, and inscribed in Hebrew, it says, whoever saves one life saves the world entire. And Nathan and I actually got it tattooed, little fetus, and it.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, in a circle there. And it's just a reminder. And we were sitting in the movie theater like, whoa, like we just helped this mom with money. And we were like, wait, this guy saved lives with money too. Okay. Like we're starting to put the pieces together, like, okay, maybe this really is like something. And so then we didn't have any more money. So we had to start asking people, but we did have more moms that we got connected with through this mom. And then we started putting it out on social media, and then we started connecting with pregnancy centers. And that's how more moms, found us, and we got more donors. We got more followers on social media. Nathan's like a whiz in social media marketing type stuff. And so as we grew, it grew. And I think people saw like, okay, there's a real need in the pro-life movement. Not just for the moms, but for people who are pro-life to actually do something. Because for so many years, for 50 plus years, it was all about overturning Roe, the legislation, the policies, the lobbying. But it's like people wanted to actually experience saving life from abortion. And that was always the problem that I grappled with, was like, I'm pro-life, but like, what can I actually do? And Let Them Live became the solution for that. I didn't even realize that until people started telling me that, like they could donate and know that that money was going to pay for a mom's bills and directly save her baby's life from abortion.
And that's what's super dope is it's like, we hear all the time as Christians where it's like, you can't legislate morality, which
it's true.
It's true. Like you can't put legislation in to change people's hearts. But what you guys decided to do was you're just like, screw it. We're stepping into the gap. We're doing this. We don't know what it's going to look like, but we're going to do it. And I think that's the thing that blew my mind the most when I was just trying to read, like after our conversations, I'm online trying to read all these different things. And I'm like, this is different. Because a lot of times, like we had, I'm not sure if you're connected at all or have ever heard of the organization called Knoxville Hope or Hope Knoxville. We had Andrew,
I have, yeah.
Okay, so they're a phenomenal ministry. They're the largest pregnancy center in the Southeast, I think, or something like that. And we had their executive director Andrew Wood on the show, and they did a lot of amazing things where they were like, we don't want to just provide ultrasounds, but we want to help them after the baby's born. We want to provide dad, like they call them like dad camps, where it's like, we're going to teach you how to just be a dad. Like take care of your car so you can save money to take care of your family. And since
Yep.
then, Andrew Wood has moved on, and he's with a different pro-life ministry now, and his family's moving to Kentucky. But the thing that I thought was wild with you guys is you guys were like, we're not just going to set up a facility and let people come to us. It's more the fact of,
Right.
we actually got people right now who need help. You want to help and you have names. It's like, you want to go help Olivia? Like,
Yep. Yeah.
man,
And that,
that's
like,
nuts.
you point out something really great too. Like, we just kind of took the pro-life movement, and I don't think I even realized this was happening. I don't think Nathan did either. We were just doing what God was like rolling out in front of us. And, the questions I would get all the time, because we kind of had to like nuzzle our way into the pro-life movement. We had to kind of show people like, okay, like we're legit, like this is a real thing. And we had to answer a lot of questions. Like, people didn't understand how you could help women and not have a brick and mortar, because for so long the pregnancy centers, which are amazing, they've set that standard. And so we were kind of having to explain to people how it's possible to save lives like digitally. You can
Mhm.
counsel a woman. I mean, the first mom we helped was in Canada. So
Hmm.
we were counseling this mom over Facebook Messenger, you know what I mean? And some of the stories I'll share later too. I mean, one of the moms with one of the most impactful stories is in California. So it's like, you can help people. I mean, we live in this digital age. Why not? 2024, I guess at the time, 2018, like we have to harness the technology we've been given for good. And that's what we did. But it kind of like short circuited people's brains a little bit in the best way possible, because it made people kind of think outside the box and get more creative about, okay, how can we save lives from abortion?
And beyond that too, it's like you're actually putting faces to a name, not just like, oh, like yeah, we give towards the pregnancy care center in Mishawaka. Okay, that's cool, but
Yep.
it's like, no, these are real people. And then like
Yeah.
we're scrolling through your
Yeah.
website and on the screen right
This
now,
is
seeing
so cool.
the hundreds of babies that you guys have saved. You guys actually post their
Yeah,
picture.
you have their
which
pictures
is
posted
incredible.
and their baby story, and it's just so it's not just the moms you're helping, but it's also the children that come out of all of this.
Oh, 100%. And it's personal for Nathan and I. I mean, God is like, I'm doing my first journey through the Bible, and I'm learning a lot about who God is. And I'm just like, man, you are funny in the best way possible, because Nathan and I found out about 3 years ago we couldn't get pregnant. And I was devastated. And we're working and helping pregnant women, and it was so crazy. But God is so good. And these babies, we literally we have mixed tiles, which, you just peel and stick pictures. We have babies on our wall, hundreds of them. We need to get more. We need more wall space because we don't have enough wall space, but we have the let them live babies on our wall because we feel like that's our legacy. Like those are the generations that, like, when we leave here, because we can't just think about our life, we have to think about like future generations. When we leave here, we're leaving them behind, and it's like a beautiful thing. So we don't have kids ourselves, but we feel like we do. We have like 1,000, and I tell people that, and they think it's like a TLC show.
Yep.
Nathan and Emily and their 1,000 kids or something.
But seriously though, I mean, that's I mean, I'm even trying to think. There was a story I just read about that their families did the same thing. I mean, we're talking like Christians like hundreds of years ago, where they could never. Was it George Mueller? It might have been Mueller or someone else, where him and his wife could not have kids, but
Yeah,
they started an orphanage, and they were like, "We have kids.
Yeah.
They just didn't come from us.
Yeah.
Like they
Yep.
came from God." And there's that legacy, and there's so much change you could do in that. I mean, like I mean, everyone on the podcast knows like I'm a sucker for the Hamilton musical. Bucket list to go see it, but dang, too expensive. But you hear her legacy of like Alexander Hamilton's wife, where it's like she started the first orphanage, the private orphanage in America, because they were like, we couldn't necessarily take care of some, but we can try to take care of as many as we possibly can, because people are like,
Yep.
this is the legacy feature. Like orphans, like they have the same rights as someone who grows up with a typical 2-parent house.
Yep. 100%. Well, and like you said too, made me think of someone on our team just sent us this. It was like the starfish story. I'm probably going to totally butcher, but
My wife loves the starfish story. Yep.
yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, there's all these starfish, and you want to throw them back in, and but you maybe can't help them all, but like it matters to this one, and that's kind of always our motto is like, all right, the next one, let's help the next mom, like one by one, we're going to do this. And so many times people, I talk to donors all the time, and they're like, thank you for giving me a way to put my pro-life views into action. And not even just pro-life, we have pro-choice donors too. So like shaking it up, it's super nuts.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, like remix. I we
Okay, I was
literally
not expecting that.
Say that again one more time.
we have like self-proclaimed pro-choice donors and supporters, and
That's what I thought you said. I just want to make sure you
yeah,
meant pro-choice.
I did, and it's so
Wow.
crazy. So years ago, Nathan was on the phone with a donor. We were just talking to them, trying to raise some money, and he gets off the phone. He's like, "Emily, this guy donated $1,000." I was like, "That's awesome," and he goes, "But there's more." I was like, "What?" He's like, "He's pro-choice," and I was like, "What?" That's so freaking weird. But I was like, "Okay, like."
Take the money. Let's go.
I'll take it 100%. Like, I gotta help. We got all these moms.
Right.
And that started to kind of get our brains going. But really, we've had so much support, because the reality is that people want to help moms. And if there's some people that, probably just definitely just push abortion, but really there are people that we can bridge the gap with, where they're like, hey, you know what, this mom really doesn't want to have an abortion, like of course I want to help her. And so it's just been such an interesting, weird thing. But honestly, that's how I feel like Let Them Live is so different too, because it's a very obviously pro-life organization. Like, I will never shy away from that. I literally have the word tattooed on my arm. Like, we're pro-life, and there's people that are pro-choice that are like, yeah, absolutely, I love that. That's okay. You guys can be pro-life.
Worldview with pro-choice, because if you're pro-choice and a mom wants to choose life,
that's exactly, they're actually
the worldview for them, right?
100%. And it's so crazy because it's kind of been proving our point for a long time that there are people that just want to push abortion. They just want to push abortion, like at whatever cost. But really, like, talking about choice, and choice is a big thing in the Bible too. I've been realizing, like, God wants our hearts, but it's not a relationship if you're forced into it, if you don't really want it. So choice is something that's talked about a lot. And really, if you're pro-choice, then it would make sense that you would support Let Them Live and other pro-life organizations like pregnancy centers, because a majority of women do not want to have abortions. And I would even say that a majority of abortions are coerced abortions, if not almost all of them, because it's either the boyfriend or the spouse that's pushing it, or just leaving, which then leaves them feeling like they have no other option. Maybe there's domestic violence, maybe it's the financial piece, whatever it is, like there's some factor that's pushing them into that abortion clinic. And if they had different circumstances, they wouldn't be in there. So that's where it's like, we're in 2024. Like, we really should not have options for these women that find themselves, in that gap.
Yeah, and I want to go into some of those political hot button topics, because obviously I know you've been asked those questions, you have answers those, so I want to get to those in a little bit, but I want to lean into this a little bit more. So with how you do fundraising right now, we were just scrolling the website. That's the beautiful thing with our two monitors. We can see.
Yeah, sorry, I was like very distracted watching.
We had your website over there too. This first time followers looked at it. I've gone through it all. Yep. So I know right now you can go on the website. You can see what are the current fundraisers and the different types of things.
Yeah, which is awesome. I mean, the website itself is incredible.
So with the website, with the fundraisers that I'm seeing right here, where it talks about like read Vanessa's story, read Penelope's story, and read Brittany's story. Like, are these real moms?
They're real moms.
And these are stories you've talked about? Because like one that's like it's scheduled for an abortion. Like there's actual, I'm looking at real dates on a screen.
You're looking at real dates. You're looking at real moms, real situations. It's actually wild. I mean, we have hundreds of moms that come to us we have a whole counseling department now, because there's been so much need. So these are real stories. Some things are changed for privacy, but they really, yeah, exactly. But yeah, these are real people going through real struggles. And I think that's something that we should all be able to relate to. Life sucks sometimes, I mean, that's just it's a fact, is that life is going to throw things at you that you're not ready for, or that are scary. And these moms are doing it pregnant and sometimes alone. Most of the time they're single moms, and so, yeah, like it's that's how we wanted to do it. We wanted to give people the same experience that Nathan and I had, because that's what totally changed our hearts. I mean, Nathan used to even be pro-choice, and then he was kind of apathetic even when we helped that first mom, and now he's just like running this whole thing with me, you know? And what changed it was those one-on-one personal stories. And so we're like, okay, the obvious way to fundraise is to just take this mom's story. She's saying, "Hey, like I need help," and put it out there, you know, and say, "Hey, would you guys support her?" You know, person
Yeah.
to person. Like we got to help each other out.
And I think that's what I love is the person to person. So on the website, you do have like various fundraisers that are up there for people, but then you have the generic
Yep.
donate into the fund. So how do you guys balance that with peer to peer, but also just, I mean, and obviously you guys have to pay the bills and pay staff and all the
Sure.
different things. So yes, you have overhead for the organization. That's just,
Yep.
you know, we're in America.
That's just
That's how life
yeah.
works. It's the
Yep.
reality. So how do you guys balance that then between individual moms who need help? We got them on the website. Maybe more moms who it's like, we wish we could take you in, but we don't. And then just
Mhm.
general donate. Like, how do you guys balance all that as an organization?
It's a lot. I mean, so we're in like Let Them Live 4.0 or something. Like when Nathan and I started Let Them Live, we were bootstrapping
Oh,
that
no.
thing. You know, I don't know where we're at, but we are definitely not where we were. And so we have some really amazing processes in place as far as like how we support moms. So the first thing is, you know, you go into an emergency room and there's triaging. So for us, it was just very, very obvious that, you know, the heart behind Christians, I think, is like we want to help everyone. And like I'm that type of person. It actually overwhelms me, is like I just want to help everyone. But the reality is that you like we all can do something, but not one person can just do it all. And
Mhm.
so we came up with this triage system based on the emergency room. So you go into the emergency room and you know, broke your ankle, but then there's someone whose like skull is missing. Like, who are they going to take first? They're going to triage. It's not based on when you walked into the emergency room, take a ticket, you know, it's your turn. It's based on the severity and the urgency of the situation. And that's how we structured Let Them Live. Was, you know, we have moms that are coming to us that, you know, they're pregnant, but they're not considering abortion at all. Yeah, they're struggling, but their child's life is not in danger of being aborted. And then you have women that have an abortion scheduled for tomorrow, or they have the abortion pills in hand. And so it was really a matter of kind of that urgency of it, you know, and that's where partnership with pregnancy centers comes in as well. So that's how we're able to kind of like, okay, these are the moms that we are able to really help. And those are the moms, and we have more moms coming in than we have fundraisers going
That's
out.
what I
So
was gonna
that's
say.
kind
I'm
of
like,
that.
because you guys have the track record. I mean, yes, you have the track record that you've helped other moms. You also
Yeah.
are a secured. I mean, you guys got platinum status, I think, right? Which yeah, platinum is transparency, like on the very bottom, how it's like the silver.
Yep.
I work with a homeless shelter up in Three Rivers, and they just got gold status. And so like that's a huge statement to donors that you guys are legit. So that's
Yeah.
that's one thing I want to
100%.
say. Like when I saw that on your website, I'm like, oh, they don't screw around, because that's
No,
easy to get.
This
no.
is
And
a
the
mom and pop
transparency.
No. But that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
no, yeah.
But when I saw the seal, just
Right.
because I'm in this world, especially with putting the stuff on websites, I'm like,
Yep.
okay, so Let Them Live. There's a lot of money coming in, a lot of money going out. So
Yes.
how do you guys balance that? And I'm like, that's what sounds scary to me, because the last thing you would want is have a mom come in and be like, yeah, we gonna help them, but we can't help you. Like that would crush me.
Yeah, that's why we set expectations like from the beginning. Do you know
Okay.
what I mean? Like we have to set expectations from the beginning, and we have our monthly giving. So we do have other ways. We also have like our Adopt a Mom program, which is like churches and individuals
Mhm.
like sponsoring women. So we have all these different like diversified revenue, like
Yeah,
fundraising
and I want to
sources.
go into that in a little bit, because that's, I thought, was fascinating. Where you guys just do a lot. How do you sleep? Like, Emily, this is nuts. Like, you
It's a lot.
okay?
It's a lot.
D Honestly, you know, sometimes, like, Nathan and I, being married and running this thing together and doing life together, we're like, "You good? You good?" You know?
You good? I'm
We
good. We good? All right, we good.
we're good. Are you on the, you know, verge of a mental breakdown? I might be, I'm not sure, you know? But it's as we've grown, we've had, I mean, I just feel like God has, like, that's it. That's the answer. God's done this. He's put people in our lives. He's put people that believe in Let Them Live, that see the vision for it, that have skills that I don't have, so we have been able to, I mean, I definitely didn't sleep years ago. I mean, we were working like 16-hour days every day. Thankfully, we have more of a team in place now. We have like 50 staff. So
Mhm.
it's like, it's a thing now, which is
Wow.
wild to me.
Your
But
why was big enough for the sacrifice.
Right.
that's exactly it. That's 100% it. Like, what, back to that first mom, I knew. I was like, you know what? Like, we've already been living with a negative bank account balance for like 3 months. Like, I can live with that again. I can't live with the thought of this mom having an abortion because we didn't act. And
Mhm.
so that's kind of what just drives us all the time. It's like, look, we just got to help this next mom. We got to help this next mom. And God just
It's the
keeps
Starfish
providing.
story. It's
Yeah,
just you can't
100%.
you could help you could save the one.
Yep,
You can save more, you
100%.
can save the
Yep.
one in front of you. So
Yeah.
so I do want to break into this a little bit because
Yep.
there's just so much to go into and I want to hear all of it, but I'm just like, which route do we go? So with getting involved, I want to talk about the donor side and then the volunteer side. So with the donor side, I'm seeing individuals, I'm seeing
Heartbeat
general
Club.
donate, but then like Heartbeat Club and Adopt a Mom. So like, what are the different programs that you guys have? And if someone's looking at this, like, okay, which one do I do?
Yeah, it's honestly, you could do all of them. We do have people that do.
Oh, like it is, Emily.
If you're a millionaire and you'd like to donate $1 million,
No.
and-
Emily just proved you can have a nasty fifth wheel trailer.
Sure.
And still do
So
it.
I'm just
true.
saying it
You
makes
could-
their life easier is what I'm saying.
That's true.
That's true. If you do have, $1 million, that's probably fine. I don't know if our website,
Oh,
we'll see.
Emily, now.
Exactly.
She'll
Like,
Venmo it.
Yeah, right.
no,
might
but
go up crazy.
we do have people that do that. And so it really depends. Some people are like me and they're like, just stick it on auto because I'm gonna forget to donate. There's some people that really connect with the stories, and they're donating more than once a month because we run like 4 fundraisers a month, so they just want to wait for that next fundraiser to come out.
And when you
then
say
there's
fundraisers, those are the individual stories that we saw, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
those are the individual ones, kind of those like, GoFundMe style ones.
Yep.
And then we have, our other major program is obviously, like I said, the Heartbeat Club, which is our monthly giving. And that really helps us a lot because that's like reliable money that's coming in. Because I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been just like absolutely freaked out. I'm like sweating. I'm like, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Are we going to make this? Are we going to make this? Are we going to do this? And then, a $20,000 check shows up in the mail and it's like, okay, I shouldn't doubt you.
One more month, one more mom.
100%, and so then our adopted mom, which kind of came out of a need to call in the church, to get involved, to really start helping women, was just kind of sponsorship of moms, and it's more intimate. You can talk to the mom. Also, individuals can do it. We're actually doing a team wide, like a Let Them Live wide Adopt a Mom, where all the team members are signing up to adopt a mom. Nathan and I did adopted a mom, and we got to, I text her every now and then when she's available. Like we talk, we sent her some items, like we did a registry for her. But it's a way to do one-on-one sponsorship, not just financially, but being a friend, being there emotionally, sharing the gospel, whatever it is. And so that's a really great way for groups as well. And then we have other things that kind of pop up. We have different peer-to-peer things. So if you're someone that's like, I can't really give a lot of money, but I know that my family can, you can set up your own fundraiser or have people donate to your Adopt a Mom fundraiser. So there's really different levels as well of giving. Some people like to be very involved. Other people want to just have that monthly transfer from the bank account, and everyone is fine. It just is really a matter of preference. I think everyone just wants an avenue to support moms and
So-
save lives from abortion.
So what about those people who go, Emily, sounds great. I want to get involved. I don't have any extra money myself. I'm barely keeping afloat myself, but I want to get involved. What can I do?
There's so many ways. Yeah. Obviously, volunteering and sharing. I mean, sharing might be one of the biggest ones. Everyone knows someone who might want to get involved or who can. Like, maybe it's your church, maybe it's, connections and networking is everything, especially when you're trying to save lives, because God connects people. So that's a really big one. It's just sharing on social media, at church, whatever it is. Like, talk about Let Them Live. Talk about the crisis of women going and having abortions when they don't really need to, but it's because there's needs that aren't filled. And then there's obviously volunteering, and you could do that from your couch. We're a completely remote like nonprofit. We all work from home. And so, whether that's writing thank you cards to our donors, whether that's, we have internships as well, whether that's signing up to do pregnancy counseling, or if you're, like me and you're not super great at pregnancy counseling and maybe that's not your gift, like there's so many other options. Maybe you're really good at like web design or tech or app development or whatever. That's kind of what we're working on right now, but there's so many different areas of that, but really pray about it, because God has a place for you in this movement. There's something, everyone can do something.
I saw that look you gave me there, big guy.
Yeah, I did. This is marketing guy.
I'm a full-time web developer, so
that's his bread and butter.
That's my day job. So
love that. Well, look at that.
A little chit chat after we're all done. I love it. So, man, I don't want to end the podcast yet. I know it sounds like we're about to land the plane, but I'm gonna make the plane take off again because it's just too good. So, a few more questions. One is the fact of, I know. Screw it, it's political season. Let's get political real quick. So,
might as well.
One of the big things that I know a lot of Christians get flack for, and we've addressed, we've talked about, we've stepped in the gap, is so many times people as Christians are like, you just care about, the baby, but you don't give a rip about the mom, culture, environment, after the baby lives. It's like all you Christians just want to do is save all these babies
and then abandon them.
Then you abandon all the babies. Right. And so for you guys to let them live, obviously what we're hearing though is that's just not always the case, because you help them get to that next, to giving birth, and then also with just supporting these moms afterwards. But do you guys have any programs like consistently where it's like, yes, the baby's been born, but we just getting started?
Yeah, 100%. This is where we also do a lot of partnerships. But specifically, we want to equip the moms and dads, if they're open to it, to giving them tools for lifelong success, and specifically around the financial aspect of it. For example, we have financial coaching. So we're teaching these moms about budgeting and saving, and groceries are so expensive, and how to make your dollar stretch, and all these things, just tips and tricks on how to do that. And it's a really amazing program that we have. We also have our support group, so we have them for moms while they're pregnant, and this is where we have them get on with other moms, and we have an amazing woman, Dr. Joy, who leads them and walks them through just like life's challenges, and it's a space where they can share with other moms. We also have a postpartum group, so they can all kind of talk to each other. They've had their babies. It's a community that we've built. And, it's so hard, because even though a financial plan for a mom will end at some point, which she knows at the very beginning, the relationship really doesn't end unless that's something that she wants. We have some moms that are like, thank you so much, I have my baby, I'll update you in a year. And that's totally fine. But I have moms that I still text all the time, and Nathan and I will continue to support them if they're like, hey, do you have some money that I can have for gas here and there, just single moms, helping them out. But that relationship really never ends, and it becomes a friendship. It becomes a family member that you're there to support. So that's really up to the mom. But those are two of the main programs that we have. And we partner with other organizations that specifically provide support. It could be 2-3 years after the baby's born. Something that I heard, it was so interesting. I actually had to ask a mom this question because I wanted to understand her perspective. Someone said on one of our fundraisers, commented, are you going to pay for that baby for the next 18 years? And I said, Diamond, like, what do I say to that? And she said, that's actually really offensive to me, because that's implying that
can't do it. Dang.
That she can't do it. Yeah. And I was like, I did not think of it like that. She's like, that is saying that I'm going to be incapable of doing better for my daughter, of being able to provide for her, of being a good mom, of being a sufficient mom, of getting myself back up on my feet. Like, I don't want someone to provide for my daughter for 18 years. That's my job. And I want to be a better mom. And I was like, okay, yeah,
Girl,
that
get
makes
it.
sense.
Makes me want to
100%,
sign up right now. Like, come on.
Well, here
right?
I got it right here. If
You got
wanna
it
sign
pulled
up,
up.
let me go ahead and sign you up. What do you want to pay monthly? It's $250. Sign
Like
you up.
1,000? No, I'm just kidding.
1,000 here. Hand me your credit card. I'll get you going. Automatic withdrawals.
I mean,
Right.
it's well, it's for me,
See,
it's more
1,000.
okay. Can I have a real talk?
Donate now. Mark Hyde.
It's
go ahead.
Timothy. You have to put Timothy.
Okay.
Mark.
Sorry. Timothy.
But real talk here, Em. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at the fundraisers, and those are real moms. I'm looking at the donate monthly. I'm also looking at this Adopt a Mom program. Can I ask the question, because it doesn't say online, it just says it's great for groups and churches. If someone wanted to adopt a mom financially, what is that looking like?
Yeah, so it depends on the mom and her financial needs, but typically it's anywhere from, I think the fundraiser that Nathan and I did for the mom was like $12,000, and then one that we're doing for Let Them Live Wide, like the Let Them Live team members, is about 14,000. But we do have like
For
a
the year?
program for the yeah. So that's not, it's not necessarily for the year. It's
I see.
for her financial. It's like a one-time thing. So that's like
Oh,
covering.
okay.
GoFundMe page.
So it's more the fact of like a church says, hey, we want to adopt a mom. Okay, here's the link. Now we start giving towards it.
This is what we need to raise.
Oh, I was thinking
so it's like
I don't want to make them the same thing, but kind of like a compassion child where you adopt a child.
right.
Like
Yes.
adopting your own fundraiser.
Yeah, but I'm really glad that you brought up that clarification. Yep. So it's like, hey, we've talked to this mom, and her needs, like her financial needs are X, Y, and Z, totaling, $12,000. And that's what we've talked with her about. And that's why she feels like she needs to have this abortion, because she can't pay her rent and her car payment and her utility bills for the next, 4 or 5 months, whatever it is. And that's where that total comes from. But there's also like partial adopt a mom. So you can, support a mom for less. Like, and there's moms with different needs too. That's the thing. Let Them Live is not like put you in a box one
It's not like
type.
compassion where it's like each kid is this amount per month, and that's like
Exactly. Because moms have different needs. Some moms have, they're dealing with like physical disabilities. Some moms are put on bed rest and they need extra support because they can't go to their job. Some moms, only need like, it's wild to me. Sometimes it surprises me how many moms come and they're like, I can't pay my rent for 3 months. And we're like, done.
like here's a check. Like, yeah.
But it also is
100%.
from a person living here in South Bend paying for rent, and a person living in New York City paying for rent.
True.
So
Yeah.
that financial could be different.
I was saying, do you have
Exactly.
moms all over the country? I would assume then, right?
Moms all over the country. We've also helped
In
moms.
Canada.
Yeah, internationally as well. It's so wild, actually. One of our really good friends who works for us, Matt, he's coming over tonight with his girlfriend Mary, who's from Peru. And
We love Peru on this
We do.
podcast. One of our good friends is he's from Peru, and him and his wife are missionaries in Peru.
Right.
So
this is a wild story. So my brother-in-law, who's also been working for Let Them Live, who is married to Sarah Grimm, whose parents do Revive Fest.
that's right. I'm like, there's a connection. I'm like,
There's
there
a
was
connection here.
somewhere.
We've met her.
So yes. So
Popping in
Oliver loves to travel, and they live.
Oliver, dude, I love that man.
Oliver. Sorry, yes, Oliver. So
All you had to
Oliver's
say was
brother-in-law,
Oliver, dude.
yeah, Nathan's brother loves to travel. So they went and they lived in Peru for 3 months, and we went and visited. Our friend Matt went down to visit. Matt meets Mary. They've been dating for a while. Matt has been going down to Peru, and he meets one of Mary's friends, because Mary, it was actually at Revive Fest like 2 years ago, where Mary texted Matt and said, hey, my friend's pregnant and she's going to have an abortion. And then Matt went into gear, and Let Them Live supported her. And we do have a documentary coming out about her, which is amazing. So it'll be really freaking awesome. But like, it's just wild, because I see God in all of this. I'm like, Oliver and Sarah decided to go live in Peru for 3 months. And then it's just like all these like events that are happening. So all that to say, like, we help moms all over the place, and it's never the same way that they come to us, like we're just here to meet needs,
Yeah. That's awesome.
Dude.
So cool how God works in all these stories and just kind of interweaves everything. Mark and I say all the time, and I don't remember if we told you this at Revive Fest when we were talking, but we started off as just two guys.
Two dudes in a basement. We weren't in a basement.
We weren't in a basement type, but it was like two guys, talking about stuff over coffee. And like, hey, maybe the youth group that he was a pastor of would want to hear some of this. Or these are some good things they should listen to. and that has exploded worldwide. And it's like just what God does with things is just crazy. It's awesome.
It's mind blowing. My mind is blown every day. I'm surprised I have anything left. Like I'm literally just like, dude. And for all the people that are like, oh, I'm an atheist. I'm like, let me tell you about this God I serve because, dang, like there's no words.
Yep, exactly. Well, and just the journey that he takes us each through during these ministry times, and Marc's had started at the low point at the start of the podcast of having a divorce to
my wife
now
left a month before we dropped the podcast.
Yeah,
ex-wife, not Beth.
Ex-wife.
Not Beth.
And now through the podcast, you found your new wife. You have all these beautiful.
Did you know that, Emily? Like we interviewed Beth on the podcast.
Yeah, that's how he met her.
So
wait. That is the coolest thing.
Girl, you ready?
Their first conversation was on the podcast.
No.
So we had her on the podcast because we wanted to interview someone who is working with foster care because, we were reading the Bible, like what's true religion? Taking care of widows and orphans in their distress. So let's get someone in the foster care world in our podcast. We asked a friend of ours, Nicole, who works for, do you know Josiah White's foundation at all in Indiana?
Yes.
She's on staff with them now out in Fort Wayne. So she,
where Nathan's family is. That's okay.
I married, ditched us, and stinking Nicole.
Still missing.
Jonathan left the South Bend, went to stinking Fort Wayne, but it's okay.
We'll forgive her.
But so we were like, hey, let's get you on the show. She wasn't working for Josiah White at the time, but she was fostering at the time. And she's like, nah, you don't want to interview me. You want to interview this crazy lady down in Tennessee, which happened to be Beth because she adopted all 5 of her long-term foster replacements because of the same reason of what you were. So this whole conversation, I tell you who's going in. So the whole conversation you're talking about, the fact of like the starfish story, like that's Beth's journey.
Yep.
Like the whole idea of like just seeing kids like orphan cares and like why am I not doing anything about it?
Take them in.
So she was a single mom or a single woman living out of Knoxville, Tennessee with no family around her.
No boyfriend, nothing.
What a wild woman. I need to meet your wife. This is freaking awesome. She's got the same like vibe as us. Like we're it's like crazy in the best way. Like I saw this pastor, like, crazy faith, like crazy. It's like people think we're crazy all the time. And then it like comes full circle and they're like, oh, okay, you're not really crazy. You're just, you got faith. It's like,
God. Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. And that's like,
you're a little nuts.
Like I joke with Beth all the time where it's like, she is don't get me wrong. Like homegirl is the queen of budgeting and planning. And then like girl's a planner to a T, but that girl's got the gift of faith that I don't have where she's like, well, I'm supposed to do it. So we're going to do it. I'm like,
you're like, pump the brakes for a second.
We gonna do what now? Like, hold up. And so, but yeah, so she had all 5 girls. She finalized her last adoption right before we interviewed her. And we interviewed her during COVID. We kept dating, got married less than a year later. We have a kid together. And
you know how many guys would just like freak out about that?
We could tell you.
So many. And so come on. That is crazy. You guys have the coolest stories.
Oh, it is. It's a really awesome story.
But either way, so episode 39, you got to listen to that one with Beth Schneider.
I'm going to.
The Schneider ladies. But, dude, where were we going with that conversation? I don't know.
We're just talking about the coolness of God.
But yes, but here's the deal that I think is so cool about your guys' ministry, Emily, and I want you to lean into this as we start to wrap up.
Yep.
The fact is that with your ministry that is so different than everyone else's is you guys actually don't just say, oh, we're going to do this big, massive thing and people are coming in and out. It's a service. You're like, no. These women have names.
Yep. We're stepping in the gap.
And we're stepping in the gap. And so I know people, you have the documentary coming out. You have all these stories on the website. So I want to point people to the website and say, if you want to read the stories of these moms and of these babies, go to the website.
When the documentary comes out, we should do a reaction video of us watching the documentary.
They're just gonna be crying. I haven't watched it. A lot of our team has, and I said I want to watch it when it comes out for everyone else. But
so make sure to let us know when it comes out because we'll do a reaction video to it.
Have to get Janelle and Beth are gonna be mad if they can't jump in and watch it with us.
We got 4 mics. Let's do it.
Well, we have 8 kids and we just bought a puppy and my mom said the puppy might be a little too. But mom said the puppy might be a little too much. We just got a puppy.
Puppy's a big mistake.
We're picking her up in 2 weeks. She's only 6 weeks old right now. So If you thought we were crazy with 8 kids, we got a puppy too.
No, puppies are worse. So yeah, you guys are nuts.
There's a lot of faith and a little crazy in the Hyde house.
Crazy, just a little bit. A lot of caffeine.
But it goes back to your guys' ministry. Of Beth and I are like, why should our kids not experience normal life just because there's a butt ton of them? And so with you guys, with the moms, it's like, why? Just because these moms have found themselves in tight situations, that doesn't mean they can't experience life and motherhood and.
Got to have that abundance mindset, knowing that God can do anything, literally. And us little mere peon humans, we're limited in our thinking sometimes. So we have to remember, like, God is sovereign. He can do literally anything. So having that abundance mindset changes everything,
That's right.
That's dope.
So, Emily, we're going to give you, have we covered everything you wanted to talk about first?
Well, I got one more question before we do that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So
I thought we were like.
So this episode's going to be airing. This is this thing that sucks about our
It's going to be the second week in January, I think.
So do you guys have a financial goal that you guys do for the year for 2025? Or is it more of just keep throwing starfishes into the ocean?
Keep on throwing them. Our CFO, it's really awesome. Nathan and he get together and they talk about different goals. And, it's like we're trying to figure out reasonable things. So, just to give you an idea, when we filed our nonprofit, we filed the shorter form because we thought, we're not going to raise more than 50 grand in the first 2 years. And in the first 2 years, we raised over $1 million. And so God just like, I'm like, I feel like Moses, where God's like, Moses, I choose you. And he's like, what?
No, like, what's in your hand?
Like, he's like, no. I'm not. He's like, you picked the wrong guy. That's how I feel sometimes. And then the following year, we raised more and more and more. And this year, I think we're going to be just shy of 4 or maybe around 4 million. And so next year, I would love to see at least 5 million, 6 million. But it's always hard for me to put a cap on it because again, God's probably just going to blow my mind away again. So
that's awesome.
Jeez.
And just thinking that dollar amount figures into how many children they're saving. Like that's the cool thing. Like it's not just, it's going to a good cause of a charity. No, it's more than a charity. Those are actually babies. Those are legacies. Those are generations. Yeah. So,
yep. 100%.
Anything?
Okay,
are you done? Are you
done? I'm done now. You can mute me.
I'm not going to mute you. I'm just going to slowly pull back on the throttle of the airplane and nose it down a little bit. Okay. You do you, boo-boo. So did we cover? Is there anything else that you wanted to specifically talk about? And then, if not, can you give us all your deets? Give us the deets.
Give us the deets. Well, I'll say one thing just to end on the whole legacy generations, like something that really stuck with me forever. And this is actually a documentary that you guys can watch on our YouTube channel. It's Atoria's story. We have a couple different moms up there. But she was a mom that Nathan and I personally counseled, and probably one of the more difficult situations. And she was about 19 weeks pregnant and had a 2-day abortion scheduled. And she was in California and we were living in our fifth wheel travel trailer at the time. And she was just hopeless, and she was living in her car and was also just really depressed. She just didn't want to live anymore. So she planned to go to Planned Parenthood and then commit suicide after. And so Nathan and I got on the next flight and we're like, look, just give us a chance. And we met up with her. And after that, she realized, like, okay, I can do this, and they're going to support me. So she chose life. And then she invited us back a few months later for the birth of her son. And we were there in the hospital room. The nurses were like looking at Nathan like,
are you daddy?
Are you supposed to be here?
And I'm like, dude, what is this Weird Al doing, man? Like,
kind of does look
bro
like
got that Weird Al vibe.
It's so crazy too, because there's like an awkward stage where his hair was like kind of halfway there, but we were there, and I'm holding this child, and I'm like, it hit me. I was like, he was supposed to die, and then what really impacted me though was her dad walks into the hospital room, and we had heard about him and he had heard about us, and I said, are you Kevin? He said, yeah. Are you Emily? I said, yeah. And we just hugged and we were both crying, and he whispered in my ear, he said, you saved my grandson. And it was just like, whoa, because sometimes I get so focused on like, okay, the mom and the baby, but you don't understand or realize sometimes that this impacts more than just the mom and the baby, like this is someone's grandson or or and this is gonna be someone's dad someday, you know?
Right.
So it's just crazy. And we want everyone to experience that. So everyone can go and save a life from abortion like we did, you know, all those years ago. So our website, letthemlive.org. We're on like all of the stuff, Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, what else is there? TikTok. I don't know. All the stuff that, you know, we're on there.
All the
The
things.
things.
That's what we always say. All the things. We're on
All the things. Yeah.
And if people want to do
100%.
more, I know you have a book that's out as well.
Yes, we do actually have a book, and that's something that I would love to send out. It's free unless you want to give us a donation too, but we have someone that covered it, but really it's just tells the story of Let Them Live and gives encouragement. It's such a real raw book of Nathan's life and my life and just how this came about, and hopefully we can encourage people to just do what they got to do, you know, just save that life or do what God is calling you to do. And it's probably going to be super scary. Like it's like jumping off a cliff and you hope the parachute opens, but like with God, yeah, the parachute is always going to open, you know? So it's just like a
terrifying,
encouragement.
right?
It is. It's terrifying. You're like, and then it opens and you're like, okay, can we not do that again? You know? And then we do it again. So, yeah,
And
just
do it
some
again.
ways.
That's the most.
And then we, like, I just
That just
escaped
proves
by the grit of my teeth.
how amazing. It's like, yo, that was
I'm gonna do it.
stupid.
I'm going to do it again.
It's like Donkey from Shrek. Let's do that again.
do that again.
100%.
That's your legacy, though, Em.
That's
And
awesome.
it's like, you know, I just taught chapel for the kids at Elkhart Christian, and we were talking about Joshua. And the cool thing about Joshua was, you know, we think of all the amazing things Joshua did, but if you look at the beginning of his life and the end of his life, God said, I'll be with you. I'll never forsake you. Don't go to the right, go to the left. Keep obeying me. And the last thing Joshua ever said to somebody was looking at the people of Israel and said, don't go to the right, go to the left. Keep following after God. Be strong. Be very courageous because God will be with you. And then when you look at him in the Hall of Faith, the stuff that he did, Joshua's name isn't even mentioned. And it's because I believe Joshua cared more about just obeying God, doing what he was called to do, and making God's name famous. And that's pretty much what you guys are doing too with
100%.
I almost just botched your husband's name. I was like, Emily and but you
it's right
That
here.
guy with the long, crazy hair.
yeah, with Weird Al and Emily, man. Let me just Weird Nathan and Emily. But I mean, that's the vibe I'm getting from you guys, where it's like at the end of the day, I mean, you guys don't care about your own name so much that even on the About Us page, y'all don't even mention that you guys are like, we're the founders. It's like you guys are like at the bottom of the staff list, just tossed in the middle of a bunch of college.
It's so funny and awkward too. Sometimes like I'll reach out to our staff that, you know, are new and hired, and I want to introduce myself to them. And, you know, I get on a call and they're like, oh yeah, so like, do you volunteer with Let Them Live, or like what department do you work in? And I'm like, how do because I'm not one to be like, I'm the president, you know, like I could be like chief hamburger flipper in charge or whatever. I don't care, you know, but it's so funny because we just want to prop God up. He's done so much for us. So it's not us at the end of the day.
That's awesome.
And that's it. And I think that's what I'm absolutely loving about you and your husband is the fact of you're like, yeah, we're people. We have our issues. We got our problems, but you know what? I just keep going. There's a scene in Madam Secretary. I gotta bring up. I always bring up Madam Secretary. It's my favorite show. Which side note?
Get your bingo cards out, people.
I forgot to bring it, bro. I bought a political bumper sticker this year
that said what? I vote for Madam Secretary.
It says Elizabeth McCord for 2024. So I love Madam Secretary. But there's one scene where a reporter said, you know, at some point you just had to stop in this whole wreckage of what was happening in this attack overseas, and he goes, You just got to grab babies and put them on boats. Like you got to stop reporting and just, you see a problem, you ain't just going to stand there. You just got to keep grabbing babies and put them on boats.
Yeah. Don't just wait for someone else to do it. Like do what you got to do in the meantime, you know?
And that's yours and Nathan's legacies. It's like, you're like, I don't care about my name. We're just grabbing babies and putting them on boats.
My name's going to be blotted out someday. So it's fine. You know, like our legacy will live on. And I thank God for it.
You guys are helping to save right now. Yeah, that's where it's really at.
Yep. Yeah. So before I let you go, Emily, is there anything else you'd like to share with our peoples?
Just thank you guys. Seriously. Thank you for for listening and supporting. And I mean, you guys are like the real deal. It's honestly been awesome. This is like the best interview or podcast I've been on, and it's awesome. So
I mean, we're not the real deal. We're real
just-
talk, but
real
we're
talk.
We're just two dudes in a
giving you
basement.
crap, giving you crap, man.
I think we should change
That's
our
fine.
two dudes in a basement.
But then
Two
that
dudes
sounds
in a
kind of
basement.
like creeper, stalker, murder mystery vibes.
Well,
our downloads
Or like
keep
you're
up.
still living with your parents, you know.
oh,
So
well, see, we might catch two different types of people then. The murder mystery and the people living in their parents' basement. All right.
Crap just got
See,
weird.
look at that.
Crap just got
yeah,
real
it's like
weird.
we better end this, you guys.
Really
No.
change.
That's nuts. But oh, goodness. But before I let you go, Emily, we got to do a tradition that we've done since episode 1. So in case you don't know, listeners, if you're new, or you, Emily, I know you're still new to the podcast too. In episode 1,
Oh, yeah.
Fuller and I, we just, had the dream. We started the podcast and we didn't know how to end it. And we were just talking. And so I was like,
How do we land the plane here?
hey, Fuller, do you have a fun fact to end the episode? Like completely just pulled it out of my butt, hoping he would have a fun fact. And he did. He just had one ready to go. And
Okay.
so we have tradition for the last 5.5 years of every episode ends with a fun fact with Fuller. And he's only repeated twice on accident.
on accident. But you got to play the music.
That's true. I'm ready. So you ready for the fun fact with Fuller music?
Let's do it.
Time for Fun Facts with Fuller.
Copyrighted by Real Talk Christian Podcast, not to be sold or used in any of the other.
Oh, shut up. Those are his kids. Those are his kids and Janelle.
Yeah, those are my kids. and my
Okay,
wife.
that makes it way cuter.
Absolutely. All right, Fuller, what's the fun fact you got for us to
All
end the
right.
episode on?
The fun fact of the day is in Egypt and in the Fuller house, according to Janelle, it's considered incredibly rude to salt food that has been served to you for trying it.
Wait, so if I just grab salt anytime I come over and just go,
If she serves
for
you
kicks and
something,
giggles?
if she serves you anything and you put anything on it before you taste it, it's incredibly
see,
rude.
in the Hyde house, if it's not salted, the kids say, "Can you put salt on that, Daddy?" Like we're raising a bunch of,
I'm a hot sauce guy. So it's
Oh.
like anything that's served to me, it's like, I'm going to go grab the Franks and throws a little hot sauce. She's like, are you going to even try it first?
See, we're Midwest. We're a ranch family. We're a ranch family.
But Emily, we appreciate you being on with us tonight and sharing your story and what you guys are all about. And definitely wishing and praying for you guys and the best.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think we're going to put you back in the green room and we'll get to you in a little bit.
That's awesome. Well, hey, guys, just like always, we are so thankful and glad you joined us for another episode of RTC. Make sure you check out Let Them Live over at letthemlive.org, where you can donate, you can, get involved, you can reach out to Emily and Nathan and their team and just find ways for you to get connected with them.
And if you haven't already, head over to the YouTube page for Real Talk Christian Podcast. Hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. I didn't even have it pulled up. What am I doing?
Where's your
I
bell?
don't even see it down
Did you
here.
lose your bell? Did you delete your bell?
There it is. There's my bell.
Hey!
And also go over to Let Them Live on YouTube and
Yep.
subscribe and hit that bell notification.
They got a podcast too?
They do. So yeah, check them out.
And just like always, leave us a rating and review anywhere podcasts can be found. We've had some crazy stats over the years of cracking the top 50 a few times on Spotify,
it's
which
been
is
pretty
nuts. Apple, we working hard, but that's a hard to crack that nut.
We've gone in Apple. We've gone up there once or twice.
I know
top
Emily, I don't know if
100.
you can still hear us here in the green room, but we've charted in Peru, so that was fun for a little bit.
Yeah.
But either way, make sure you head over to Facebook and join the RTC online community where we can continue the conversations and actually get to know each other a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, we're just two dudes in a basement.
That's right.
But the RTC community really comes alive in that Facebook group. So if you do not have a church home, if you do not have a small group, even if you're just like, you know what, I'm trying to explore my faith a little bit, there's a lot of people in there that would just love and care on you inside that group as well.
That's right.
And so I'm having a hard time figuring out how to land the plane. So I guess we'll just end it, huh?
That sounds good to me.
I love it. Well, hey, guys, we love you all. And until next time.
Take it easy.